want to review today the Giant Defy Composite 2. So there's 3 different ones they have in the Giant Defy Composite series, and this is the second one. There's 3. The higher level one is number 1. This is the number 2, and then there's a little bit lower level one. It's number 3. So this is the second one. Now, I did a little research before I bought the bike, and if you're doing the research right now, obviously you're watching this video. There's a lot of really cool things about this bike, and after looking at a lot of things and reading different reviews and looking at different things, this is the bike I went with after talking to some people at the bike shop here as well. It's definitely a really good bike for like an all-around comfortable riding around town, around shorter bike rides. If you're doing this just for yourself or fun, probably if you're racing, you obviously probably want a little bit more if you're really into racing. But if you're doing that, you're probably not watching this review anyway. So for an introduction, if you're just maybe getting into road biking or cycling, this is a really good bike if you can get it. I'll go through some of the stuff that's on it, some of the components and details of the bike. I don't want to go too much into detail because you guys can look that up online. I mean, it's really easily accessible, all of the different what the different components are. I'll also talk a little bit about the feel of the bike also and how it rides and some of the stuff I've added on. So when you just buy the bike from the store, it's going to come without some of the stuff that I have here. You won't have the saddlebag. That's different. You won't have these cages for the water bottles. Those you have to buy. You also won't have a computer. That's additional. And I have some stuff down there also that goes with the computer, like the magnets and the sensor. But I'll talk about those things. Sorry, another thing that the bike doesn't come with is the pedals. You'll have to get those too. The pedals it comes without any pedals, and then you have to kind of get the right pedal that you like for a shoe. And then, you can get some road cycling shoes with cleats that clip in. So the bike is composite, which means it's made out of carbon fiber. It's really nice and smooth. Everything runs just flawlessly. It doesn't make any noise. It's really a pleasure to ride. The thing that's kind of interesting about the bike, also, it's designed for climbing. It has, it's designed with climbing in mind, meaning for going uphill a lot. The crank and the gear set here, and the ring, chain ring, it's a smaller one. There's bigger rings that are for more of like flat riding really fast, but this is for more of really nicely designed for climbing up hills with the smaller ring here and the bigger ring. And then it's a 10-speed bracket here in the back, or sprockets, I guess you'd say, and there's 10 different ones. All of the components on here, and the components include like the derailleur, this derailleur, front back derailleur, the crank arms, the whole drive train, chain and all that. Also includes the shifters, the brakes, all of that stuff. Here it's all set, and it's called the 105, Shimano 105, and you can see that right there. So it's really nice. The shifting is really, really smooth. You shift, with a big lever here, going up for the back, for example, to a higher gear, and then you go to or lower gear, and higher gear you go this way, and it's reversed on the front. The shifting is just really nicely positioned. It's really comfortable when I'm on the bike. Of course, you have to get everything tuned, and it'll come really nicely tuned when you buy it. But then you have to make sure you keep it all really well tuned, and the shifting is just beautiful. When you're going up hills and have to switch into a higher gear to go up, or a lower gear to go uphill to spin faster, it's really, really smooth. The braking, really cool feature here is it has this little release, and I'm sure a lot of the bikes have this now, but if you want to remove the wheel here, you can pop this up and it'll open that up to take the wheel out. Let's see. The handlebars are really, really comfortable. I do wear gloves usually, but I just recently went on a 100-mile bike ride, And like about the last quarter of it, I took the gloves off just to kind of feel it, and it was actually really comfortable without the gloves. Really nice rubber, really grippy, and it's really ergonomic, I guess. And your hand just kind of sits. And there's different riding positions, obviously. You know, sometimes you're up here, sometimes you're here. On descents going downhill, you're usually down here. But just really comfortable, especially right here. And this is where you mostly ride your bike at. Your hands are usually right here for most of the time. Very adjustable. You can adjust basically every single detail on here. The saddle that it comes with, it's really comfortable. It has this nice foam that fits to your bones there in the back. And it's really comfortable to ride on for long distances. Again, the brakes in the back, the wheel is removable, and brakes spread there. Yeah, what else? So the tires, it's all a set from Giant. This is the PR3 tread and the PR2 rims. They're not carbon fiber, but still quite light. Very nice. They're very well trued. They don't have any, play in them or any movement around. There's some really well trued wheels. Very nice components down here as well. Everything works great. The bearings are very nice and smooth. So yeah, I mean, I've put on about 650 miles on this bike, and it's really nice for riding everything, in terms of uphill, downhill. It's really stable, really well. Doesn't rattle at all, like very stiff through here, and it's designed where it's not, absolutely like race stiff, but it's comfortable stiff. It's stiff to where you're not putting in a lot of energy to bend the bike when you're pedaling, but it absorbs a lot of the shock of the road and all the rattling that you might hit. I've also ridden through maybe 10 or 20 miles of dirt road and gravel road, and you can see the tires. Basically, you can't even see much wear on them yet, but it's really nice. Even with that big rattle and annoying rattle of the dirt roads, it rides just beautifully. So the pedals that I put on here, and this is kind of a good, I think, in terms of this bike quality and everything, it's probably a well fit pedal. For it's a Shimano SPDSL. It's a composite material as well. Has a little metal cleat there, and then you obviously get the shoes that go with that. And these are also the Shimano RO. I think they're the RO80. I don't remember what they are. There's a couple different. Oh yeah, RO88 is this shoe. So you can see how it clips in here. Kind of put the front of the cleat in there, and then you press it in. And there's a lot of videos out there about how to ride with clipless pedals. You never want to fall with them in, but they're really easy to remove. You just turn like that, and it comes right out. And those are a must if you're going to be doing a lot of riding, especially uphill. That just saves so much energy. You can pull your leg instead of pushing. What else do I want to tell you? So the other thing is the component, or the computer that I got in here. Now, a lot of people will probably get a different one, but I kind of went with the one that Giant recommends, because this frame is designed to be compatible with the RideSense technology. And what it has is, in the back here, it has a, in the frame, there's some holes built in where you put in this little sensor, and it's a piece of it is actually inside of the frame there. And then you have a little magnet that goes on your spoke back here, and then there's also a magnet that goes onto your crank arm, and that measures your pedaling speed. It's called cadence. This measures your wheel speed. And this computer up here, it's all transmitted wirelessly, so it has ANT+ connectivity. You can connect those sensors also to your phone if your phone has ANT+. You can connect them to a Garmin computer. This one is the Neos Pro. So I'll kind of go through the computer here a little bit and do a little review of this thing as well. If you guys are thinking about getting this Neos Pro Amp Plus Giant Neos Pro. So it has a lot of features on it. The big number is the speed of the wheel. Down here, this is the cadence. And you use this button to switch. This is the elevation. This is the grade. You can see the grade up, the average grade up, the average grade down, the max grade up, max grade down. Then you can see your average speed, your max speed. Then this is max temperature, minimum temperature. This is the time, this is the date. This is the total ride time on the bike, 19 hours. There's a lot of different things there. By the way, if you reset the ride time, some of the things you can't re-enter. So if you ever reset the computer, you can always re-enter the odometer number, like the total miles on the bike, but you can't re-enter the total ride time. So that's a little tricky. Lap time there, your mile for the miles for the ride there. Your odometer, 628. Okay, so those are those features. And it also has a light, a backlight. You can't really probably see it too well, but during the night it's really nice to have a backlight. It has a temperature that it tells you there. It has a little wrench that pops up, I think every 500 or 600 miles, I don't remember, but the wrench pops up to tell you that it's time to to service your bike or something like that. And you can turn it off by holding a button. I have to look it up again, but you hold it and it goes away. Also, you enter your, when you set it up initially, you can enter all the details of the bike, the tire size, your weight. This thing's also compatible with a power meter if you have one to measure your power on your pedals. It also is compatible with a Amp Plus heart rate monitor, so you can hook that up as well. Anyway, this thing has a bunch of components. It's wireless. I love it because it's not connected to any of the stuff down there, just this little mount. You can remove it, and it has another mount that you can put on here as well if you want. And then there's a battery in the back that you need to change every once in a while probably, but I think it lasts for like 600 hours on the battery. So that's made by Giant, and it just works really well with this bike. So I just went for that for now, and it's working really well so far. And I have the toe peak saddle bag here. It's really easily removable. There's an expandable one they have. This one fit my needs, and it carries basically a light on here. It has my tool, a couple gels, bar, a tire, some tire levers, some gloves, a little first aid kit, some money, just everything you need to go 100 miles or more. I did a 100-mile trip. I just had this little saddle bag, had the 2 water bottles you can see there, and then I also just had my back pockets with some food in it and food in them, and that was perfect. I made it no problem. The little cages I have here are the Blackburn carbon fiber cages. They're really light. Have a little pump there, Lazine, with a hose. And the valves here, of course, are the Presta valves. I think I'm pretty much covering everything in terms of what the bike is like and what it has on it. And basically, my recommendation from riding this bike for about 600 miles is, if you're getting into road cycling and I mountain biked before this, and I still do, but I learned that road cycling is actually really fun as well. This is an awesome bike if you can afford it to get into road cycling. It's quite a blast to be out there on the roads and enjoying it. So if you have any questions, please leave a comment below. Ask me. I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can about that. And hopefully this kind of helps you with making a choice about a bike you want to buy. Or I know there wasn't too many reviews of this bike anywhere when I was buying it, so I'm trying to kind of help you guys out, make sure everybody's getting a good view of the bike. And check out my other videos and subscribe. Have a great day. The bike's also like super nice for going downstairs.